They have a smartwatch basically that does things like steps, distance, calories burned, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But it also apparently can track sexual performance and monitor your progress.
This is gonna be a weird episode.
Yeah. I'm putting this on the list. Hello, internet. We've got some bad news. First off, you're listening to this podcast, so our condolences.
You done goofed already.
Yeah, you have already been making some terrible life choices. I'm Josh Allen. Mike B is also here.
I am.
In spirit, if not in health.
Halfway health. I have this terrible condition where whenever I laugh, I have to cough, and it's terrible. So I have to constantly mute, which is awesome because I don't have a mute on this input. So I have to keep throwing a fucking slider back and forth, so it sounds like this.
It's like disco.
So I'll be like, ha ha ha, ha. Just like that.
Good.
All right. So that's my deal.
Yeah. So the good news, however, and by good news I mean bad news, just more bad news.
God, it's coming.
Nothing happened this week. Literally nothing. Like, Peter Molyneux was a dick, maybe, kind of, to some... I don't even know. That's it. There we go. The news is done for this week.
And Meet of Engineers happened, right? But, like, you know, it's like that's kind of like... It's okay. Like, if you want to support the devs, go get it, but don't expect to have too much fun in Medieval Engineers.
Yeah.
If you want to have fun in Medieval Engineers, go get Besiege. And then wait until Besiege makes its way into Medieval Engineers.
Yeah.
But that's it.
This episode, we're going to be kind of winging it a little bit.
I'm on Amazon looking for stories. All right?
We've already gone through literally every other website. Every single one. We went to Walmart.com before Amazon.
Put some stories on layaway.
Have you seen these rollback?
There is nothing.
I guess Exploding Kittens is now funded.
Okay, yeah. And so is Strafe.
And so is Strafe, yeah.
This is good. These are two good games.
Yes. Well done, those things. We've talked about Exploding Kittens a lot.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that we really talked about Strafe much.
Strafe was one with the commercial that... it
was like the super 90s commercial.
Yeah, the kid's face like melts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a really good commercial.
I wonder how many people backed it just for that and don't actually have any idea what the game is. Because honestly, I don't remember anything about the game. I just remember that there was a super 90s commercial.
It was really good.
Yeah, but Exploding Kittens did some crazy shit with their like last couple days. Like,
they do. I wasn't paying attention.
Like the oatmeal guy, Matt Inman, was like just drawing basically anything that people tweeted for a little while, which is moderately interesting. If you go to Oatmeal for the art, which I mean, not that it's particularly bad, but it's kind of not the point. And then they like held pizza parties at like I think it was over 100 animal shelters, which is kind of cool. But it's also kind of like, okay, so obviously these people have made so much money off this Kickstarter at this point that they're like, we can't think of a single possible way to spend this money now. Fuck it, pizza parties. Let's do it.
Pizza party at animal shelters.
Yeah.
I mean,
for when you would like to have additional cat hair in your pizza.
Yes.
But do not own a cat yourself.
Those poor animals.
Yeah.
So yeah, really like while I cough, while I slide myself out of existence, so I cough.
I can't do that. All I can do is just suddenly mute myself.
Oh, hey, it works.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting thing on the show so far. I mean, Valentine's Day happened, but I basically just passed out on the couch playing. You know what I did? So yeah, Valentine's Day happened, all that stuff. Yeah. But I was too fucking sick to do anything. And it was a perfect storm because it was President's Day on Monday, right? Or a President's Day, I don't know. And I Friday night or Friday afternoon, I'm in a meeting, and all of a sudden, just like a brick wall, man. Like all of a sudden, I start getting really hot, and I was like, "Wow, it's hot as a motherfucker here." Right? I'm thinking that maybe like I turned something on in the room. I didn't notice. I feel like I should have, but but it was very clear that I had a fever or something. I went and got this like in-ear thermometer thing. I'm all like, boop, it says 100, 101 or something. Boop, 101.
Was it Ebola?
Like, great. It was I'm trying to put Ebola and measles together.
Was it E. coli?
It was E. coli. It was totally what it was. It was, so yeah.
Was it esports?
I got hit with the esports. And I was basically out. Like it just took me out completely. And the only thing I could do is sit downstairs on the couch and play Dying Light. Excuse me. And
which is appropriate, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, while you're dying, of course. Dying
Mike.
Oh God, I can't remember the name of the fucking game. 38 Studios. Why can't I fucking remember the name? Kingdoms of Amalur.
Kingdoms of Amalur. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played a lot of that. What's funny is I realized that I thought I had played a lot of it before, and then I realized I didn't actually play the game hardly at all, like compared to what I did over the weekend. I actually watched Shaftnit stream it when we were like live casting all the fucking stupid boss fights he was getting into.
Yeah, during the whole like Day of Reckoning thing.
Yes, exactly.
They did.
So it was actually pretty fun. Like I forgotten how fun the game actually was once you get like, more than 5-6 hours in.
Yeah, like the game is really good, and a lot of I really enjoyed the combat in a lot of ways. I feel it's a game that I feel sort of bad about because like I did that whole Day of Reckoning thing, got to go on with like Day 9 and chat about stuff.
Right.
He called me Devomorph from Lore, which was entertaining.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, it was because my Skype name was at the time along those lines, and it was fairly hilarious. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like I played it a whole bunch then, and then I played it for like 2 hours the next day, and then I just never launched it again and kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And every time someone's like, "Oh yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur, yeah, that game was pretty good," I'm like, "Yeah, that game was pretty good. Why the hell didn't I play more of that game?" Oh
yeah,
well.
it's I know, right? It's a fun couch game for sure, because it plays really well on a controller. It's funny about Dying Light. Have you played it? Yeah, you have. Yeah, you played it.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, okay. So it's actually a really like fun game to just get in and just kind of dick around in. I have a bit of the same problem that a little bit that I had with Grand Theft Auto. With Grand Theft Auto, like I have not completed anything since GTA 3, and actually, wait, yeah, I completed GTA 3, yeah, but
You mean 5?
No, 3.
Oh,
I haven't even played GTA 5 single player.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
You played a bunch of the multiplayer because I remember playing it with you.
Oh yeah. It's because that's the whole point of the game for me. Like those kinds of sandboxy games, you get in and you dick off.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just Cause 2. Like I don't know anybody who's finished that game. You get it. You can't. How do you finish the game when there's so much fun shit to do?
Yeah, that's sort of the problem I've always had with open world games too. Is I tend to just get distracted with side stuff, and then by the time I get around to progressing through the main story at all, I'm like tired of the gameplay and I want to do something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've never finished any Elder Scrolls game, the main storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I've never finished Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. And these are all games that I love, like amazing games that I've sunk tons of time into, and like would absolutely 1000% recommend anybody go and pick up. Like, go play Morrowind, go play Oblivion, go play Fallout. Like, these are all awesome games. I've never finished a single one of them.
Don't worry about the twist that nobody likes at the end. You won't finish it.
Yeah, you won't get there. As soon as someone complains about the storyline in like Skyrim or something, I'm just like, what? What do you mean?
There's a storyline in Skyrim? What?
Something about a Dovahkiin. I don't know.
Dovahkiin?
Yeah.
Sounds like one of my sites.
You should have an Elder Scrolls.
I know.
That's what
King.
that's what ESOhead should have been called.
Oh man. The opportunities.
Dovahkiin.
That would have been so good. Damn it. I'd have to tell everybody because that was too good. They're doing it. You know, it's funny. They're doing they have the free to play deal, and then they have the console release coming in June, I think 9th, if I recall. That's a pretty big deal because 86% of Skyrim sales, and it's hard to really say that number's accurate now because it's been on sale so much on Steam for PC, obviously. So it's but before it got to the point where it was basically the bargain bin, majority of its sales, like the greater majority of its sales, were on console. So if they're going to go full, like just balls deep and just promote a free Skyrim essentially to console players, they could potentially make a killing on this.
Yeah, like I never got around to buying it for PC because I was like, well, at the time it came out, I was kind of busy with other stuff. Like, it was right around, as I recall, it was right around when WildStar was either like late in beta or was going to release soon, and I was like, I'm gonna probably pay more attention to that game. And I was doing a bunch of stuff in WoW at the time. So I was like, I don't really have extra time for it right now. I wasn't super into it when I played it in beta. I'm gonna wait and see how it turns out, and then everybody complained about bugs and then stopped talking about it entirely. So I was like, well, I guess it can't have been that great. But from the sounds of things, they've made a ton of improvements to the game.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of looking forward to trying it out on I may actually pick it up for console.
Yeah, it definitely plays like it would translate well to console. But you run around in the world and shit just like happens. It falls in your lap. So it's that kind of gameplay I think is really neat. I mean, it's not, of course, but you know, the whole point of like a sandbox open world is to be able to go out and create your own adventure, you know? I mean, I could tell that guy that comes down and is like, hey, help, I'm being chased by fat aliens. And you're like, okay, fuck you. And you leave, you know? It's like, hey, I'm choose my own adventure, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to do that in order to progress in the story. And so like that I think is kind of, that's what I liked about ESO was the fact that you could do that to kind of create your own adventure.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, remembering back to the brief amount of time that I played around with it in beta, I definitely remember being somewhat impressed that, like, I started off, I mean, like, you go through the intro thing and you end up in, like, the first town, and I was just sort of wandering around and bumping into stuff to do and not really paying any attention, but realizing that I was going through entire quest chains. Yeah. And, like, the quest text is through the interactions that are happening around you, which I think is really cool. Like, I personally don't read quest text at this, like,
what?
After playing WoW for almost 11 years now, going all the way back to closed beta. Yeah, right around then. And like, at first I read the quest text all the time, but it's just gotten to the point now where when I play WoW, like, these are all quests that I've done so many times. Like, sure, if I come across a quest that I haven't done before, like, I was leveling an Alliance character recently, and a lot of the Alliance quest chains I hadn't done, so I was reading the quest text because I wanted to know what was going on. But most of the time, and even then, like, I'll have to really be thinking about I'll have to be doing something that's like, wait, why am I killing these people now? What's going on? I should read the quest text and find out why I'm killing
I
these
need to
people.
clear my conscience here.
Yeah. But and then I'll play games like when I played Terra, I could not read. I just couldn't. I could not handle reading the quest text.
Nobody could.
Because I was like, I just don't care. Just point me at what I need to kill. Give me experience points. So I was always really that was one thing that I really, really liked about ESO. And one thing that WildStar had sort of promised and didn't really deliver on, in my opinion anyway, was that the quest text was kind of unnecessary. In ESO's case, it doesn't even exist really. And it's just what's going on around you. Like the quest text is there for I forgot what someone told me. Not
yeah, exactly.
Not like this is what you need to go do. So that's something that I really liked, and I can totally see that translating very well into a console experience, especially since, like you say, so much of like I played Oblivion on console. I played Skyrim on PC, but I played Oblivion on console, and Oblivion's probably the one of all the Elder Scrolls game that I've sunk the most individual time into and made it the farthest in.
Huh.
I did not advance the main story at all. I got through the first little portal in Oblivion that you're supposed to close, and I was like, ugh, that was kind of shit. Let's see what else I could do. So I went off and I became a vampire. Oh no, excuse me. Actually, I went off and I joined the Fighters Guild, and I eventually became the leader of the Fighters Guild. And I went off to some other city and helped some dude with his fishing or something like that.
Wow.
And became the hero of this one little city. And then eventually I became a vampire, and I got myself stuck out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the day, and I couldn't fast travel. And I was like, well, I guess I'm done now. This is too much work.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. So I got lost track because I had a coughing fit right in the middle of that while I was listening. Sorry. So anyway, so go back to Dying Light. The other thing I noticed that's very distracting about the game is the soundtrack is very Mass Effect. And it's not made by somebody who worked on any of the Mass Effect soundtracks. I mean, because Mass Effect 3 they changed up the composer, but yeah, I was if you listen to it, just the intro, just with the opening, the title screen, it's so Mass Effect that it made me want to go back and play Mass Effect, and I did. So that was my that was my problem with playing Dying Light was, excuse me, I had to keep on flipping back to Mass Effect, and what I did was I downloaded this updated graphics and shadows pack. It's 7 or 8 gigs or something like that. It's fucking no joke. Yeah. But my God, it looks good. It looks really, really good. And then you start moving around, you're like, oh shit, old combat system. But still,
so you're talking about the first Mass Effect.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
oh god, I actually just can't hit things because they had this weird FPS RPG hybrid going on.
I mean, I think anybody who's played Mass Effect all the way through probably loves it. But I would probably, if I got really sick again, borderline coma, I couldn't do anything else, I would totally play that game again, front to back.
Oh yeah. The original Mass Effect I've played through 5 or 6 times now at this point. And every time I start to play it, because usually what I would do, when I most of the time that I've done a new playthrough of Mass Effect 1, it was right after finishing a playthrough of Mass Effect 2. And then I'd be like, right, so that's what.
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah.
So I'd be like, right, so that's my renegade infiltrator. Now I'm gonna go and make a Paragon Vanguard or something. And
wait, you mean a Vanguard in Mass Effect 1? That sucks.
Yes, it does.
That sucks, man. Wow.
Yes, that was not easy.
Jesus,
especially
even
playing
casual mode.
especially playing as Paragon. Like just because you end up in so many more like
You
don't
can't
really
poke
end up
people
in
down.
more fights, but yeah, you can't yeah.
So yeah, what's funny is I played it 3 times. Each time I played it, and I played it I played like twice on PC and once on console, and that's what I did with the entire series. I basically played it twice, once on PC, once on console. All of them are identical. All of my playthroughs are fucking identical. I have to be an asshole. Like and not like it's kind of like an asshole, but you'll thank me later. Like that's the kind of asshole I am. It's like this is for the greater good. I'm sorry you think I'm a dick. You'll understand later. and every single time, oh actually no, the only thing that changes is my girlfriend. It's either I think on PC it's it's on PC and there's some cheatery here, dude. On PC it's Liara. On console it's Tali. And the reason why is because I knew that she would never take off her mask, and so I'm okay with the shit ass graphics on the console. So I wanted to make sure that Liara looked as good as possible because I could see all of her on PC.
Nice.
So that was, but other than that, like same look. By the time I got to the end, I looked exactly the same. My renegade status was always identical, and yeah, like I had to go on YouTube to watch to see what other people's decisions were. Like with Morden, right? Like I had to see what other people's decisions were because my decision was, what I do there. I think with Morden, I let him go up. I didn't kill him. So I wasn't like super renegade again because it was like the greater good,
Right.
That was a rough scene.
Yeah. Yeah, the scenes like that were why I was mad at Mass Effect 3, because it was like not necessarily that like big characters were dying and stuff like that, and like, oh, there's no way that I could have saved him or something like that. It was more that like the outcome was the same either way. Like either way, this character is dead now. Yeah. Like there is no option in which he is not dead. The choice just feels kind of meaningless at that point to me. Like how it happened isn't as important to me as like the end result is now the same. Like if you then go and you check off like what are the differences at the end of this gameplay session if you've done it this way versus doing it this way. There really aren't any in Mass Effect 3. Like it ends up in the same place pretty much regardless.
Now that Mass Effect 3 is the one that I actually did not play all the way through on both consoles or on both platforms. I think I like partway through on console or something, but the thing is but here's the thing, I rushed through the main storyline on PC and I got to that shit ass ending. And I could not touch it again because I was broken, the indoctrination thing, and I was convinced that BioWare is a bunch of idiots and blah blah blah. And but what I've heard, and this makes me want to give it another chance, is that the Citadel DLC or whatever, I don't know, whatever DLC it was that they added for the ending and for kind of the wrap up with like party thing with all the characters. Like a lot of people that finished it, they were satisfied with that. And like I came to the series late for sure. Like I didn't play Mass Effect 1 until like Mass Effect 2 was, I think, like about to come out. So just because I got there first and it sucked doesn't mean that, it's it doesn't mean that it still sucks. Right. Does that make sense? Because someone's experience could, just because they finished it now versus finishing it right when it came out, doesn't mean that their experience as a whole is diminished. So maybe it is actually okay now. Maybe I should go and play it again, kill off all my friends, like do all the side missions, and then beeline to the end and see what happens.
Yeah, I also haven't played it. Like I played through it once and I was like, that's disappointing. That's crap. Like you and I were in the same sort of boat. I think we ranted about it a bunch on like an After Dark or
God,
something.
too much.
Yeah.
I think I was tired of it after a while, but we couldn't
Exactly.
stop.
There's probably people who've already turned this podcast off. It's like, oh god, this is Mass Effect again.
Here we go again. 5 years later.
But yeah, like that. I've only played through Mass Effect 3 once. I played through Mass Effect 1 probably 5 times. Mass Effect 2 at least 3, maybe 4. Mass Effect 3 once. Like I still have save games that I was like, this is gonna be my Paragon, because I always played Renegade first because it's more fun. But like I always had save games that are like, this is gonna be my Paragon character that I play through Mass Effect 3 with, that I've never touched. Like I have my Vanguard that I've never, like Vanguard in Mass Effect 2 is actually fine, and in Mass Effect 3 it's like really good. If you play like the multiplayer.
Oh yeah, big time.
But I've never gone through. So maybe at some point I'll play through it again. A friend of mine, coworker at Blizzard, Taryn Gregory, was discovering Mass Effect recently, and I was like geeking out. Like he and his wife were playing through it, and I was like geeking out, like, oh my god, how far along are you? What part have you gotten to yet? Have you gotten to the part with Morden? And they'd be like, what? Who's Morden? I'm like, oh god, you have so much good stuff ahead of you.
It's funny you
And
say
one
that.
really disappointing thing.
I was actually at Gazillion Entertainment, and they do the I don't know if you know, they do Marvel Heroes. They basically have the Marvel what's it called? I can't think. They have the Marvel IP to do video games with.
Right.
And so I was there. We were there to talk about like some business shit. But the girl I was talking to, we get to the end and we're just like kind of bullshitting and I noticed she had an N7 shirt, a Normandy shirt. And I was like, I told her, like, by the way, that's a nice shirt. You want to tell me a little bit about it? Like, what's your story here, you know? And she's like, and she looked at me, she goes, well, I'm a huge Mass Effect nerd. And I was like, oh, really? Go on. It's like, I've heard of this game. And I asked her like immediately. I was all like, Paragon or Renegon. It's funny because it was like, or Paragon, Renegon. I think I mentioned this. This is this is the leftover sick talking here.
This is a good podcast.
Paragon or Renegon, exactly. No, but I asked her, like, is it Paragon or Renegade? And she's like, oh, Paragon. And she goes, I just couldn't bring myself to punch the reporter. And, it's funny. It was like, when I think I'm a renegade, it doesn't pivot on whether or not I punched that reporter or not.
Yeah.
It definitely does not. It's not, that's not the point where I'm like, if I punch that reporter, I'm like, I'm an evil bastard. Like this, but for her, and that's the thing, like unique experiences all around, you know. But for her, like that was the first thing that came to mind. That was the moment where she was like, I am a nice person, even though this bitch is getting in my face.
Yeah, for me, it was always about, I just got to fill out those points. Every Renegade option is the one that I will take. Every Paragon option. Because, like, you miss out on options if you don't get far enough. Like, in Mass Effect 2, with the whole, like, thing between Miranda and Jack happens. And if you don't have if you don't have either the let's calm down here and be nice to each other option, or the Jesus Christ, quit fighting already, you stupid bastards, like, option, then that, like, you just lose one of your followers and it sucks. So that is one thing that always kind of annoyed me about the Mass Effect. The two things that annoyed me about the Mass Effect franchise, aside from the ending of so the three things that annoyed me about the Mass Effect franchise. Number one was the original Mass Effect 3 ending. I haven't played it since, so I don't know if it's any better now. Number two is how, like, you know how when you pick a conversation option, it has like a brief, like, little text description of what it's going to be like. Sometimes that's not always accurate. So
it's like, always a little off.
It's a little bit off, and then sometimes it's completely off. Like, there will be an option that's like, it says, okay, like it'll just literally say, okay, and then your character's like, well, that sounds fucking stupid, or something like that. It's like, okay, all right, this was not labeled properly. But the only like real like the final thing that annoyed me about the Mass Effect franchise was it sort of fell into that trap of you can do whatever you want, but if you do, you're gimping yourself. With regards to the Paragade and Renegade
Thank you.
points.
Thank you. It's easy to say, isn't it?
Yeah. Because like you run into those situations like in ME2 where if you haven't maxed out one side or the other, you miss out on something. And I don't like missing out on things in games like that. I want to do all of the stuff. So
yeah, and it's not even a matter of, oh, well, you could just play it again and do all the things. No, you can't, because this is one of those things where you can't be in the middle ground anywhere. You had to be either an extreme dickhead or fucking suave.
Yeah.
You couldn't be in the middle at all. And like this fight was not something you could prevent. Like they just all of a sudden started fighting.
Yep.
And it's like here's two like really good support characters, biotics, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh well, one of you guys are gone now.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Yeah.
Because I was not either too much of an asshole or I don't know.
Yep.
Many hours in Mass Effect. So many hours in Mass Effect. I'm still waiting for my kid to start asking me for like story time, like because I read him books, right? But he doesn't know what I'm saying. Like for him, it's like he just basically tries to read the words and like repeats after me. But I can't wait to be like, Dad, tell me a story. I'm gonna be like, well, let me tell you about Commander Chinhawk of the Normandy. And like I'm just gonna like basically regurgitate all these cool ass stories that I experienced in Mass Effect, but it's gonna be, Commander Chinhawk. I don't know, I'll make something up.
Yeah.
And then when he's old, he'll be too old to remember the series, know where it came from, and he'll be like, man, my dad told these awesome stories. And that's it, yeah. They had the best stories.
That's a good plan.
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel, is that like some kind of plagiarism or something? Like, is that?
I think it's okay if you're just telling your kid a bedtime story.
Somebody's gonna get upset about this.
All of a sudden, the federal government's like knocking down. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Could you repeat the last 6 words you just said?
Our content ID voice matching system went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've successfully killed 30 minutes of this podcast so far.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We've talked about nothing.
Bullshit.
Because that's what we have.
I have coughed more in the past 30 minutes. Hopefully you haven't heard like hardly any of it. I've coughed more in the past 30 minutes than I have like all freaking day. That means it's a good conversation, I think.
Yeah, means we're doing well.
Or I've had too much vodka. I'm not sure which.
I'll just keep going and maybe you'll die.
Thanks.
As he chokes to death.
Yep.
So I guess maybe we should talk about 1886.
Oh, man.
This is an excellent segue that I've just done.
That was a beautiful segue. Jeez.
So speaking of things that are short, like this podcast.
Speaking of things that are 30 minutes long. You could actually say, speaking of things that are 30 minutes worth of content, given how many QTEs they repeat in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I haven't played 1886, and I think you said that you haven't played it either, correct? Or have you?
I mean, I was gonna lie and say that I did. No, I'm kidding. No, I would. my Steam profile is pretty fucking visible. No, I've not played it. And it's funny. The game was actually not on my radar. And I'm glad because it's still not on my radar. But yeah, everybody does not like it.
It was on mine because it's like this super cool like steampunk sort of setting. And I was like, oh man, I would love to play like a like a BioShock style game in a setting like that. Like BioShock has always been a little bit steampunky, but like I don't know, the 1886 the Order 1886 or whatever it's called, it, like seemed to really take like the full like no, this is serious steampunk sort of approach. Excuse me. And again, like I have not played it, so I'm just going off of reports that I'm seeing, but this is the same report coming from everywhere. So apparently the game can be completed in like 5 hours. And there's lots of games, like I was talking about like Skyrim and such earlier, like you could probably complete finger quotes something like Fallout 3 in a really quick amount of time too, like 5 or 6 hours. I'm sure some speedrunner in 5 years will be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a complete playthrough of Skyrim
100%.
in 30 minutes. 100%.
Oh,
yeah. Something like that'll happen. But like for a first playthrough as a reviewer played through the whole thing or something, it was like just a YouTube let's play sort of thing. First time you play through it, 5 hours. That's a little light. That's like maybe
super
in this
light,
case,
dude.
someone has ignored all the side content, but I haven't seen a single argument that someone's like, oh yeah, well if you ignore all the side content, which makes me wonder if there really is any side content or something like that. Like it's tough to really speak on it directly, which is why if we had actual topics, we probably wouldn't even be talking about this.
Yeah.
But still, it's the sort of thing that you see from games from time to time.
Here's the problem is that it's 5 hours of content and no multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like
at least like Portal 2 had like 8 hours of content and then multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then like the whole Steamworks thing with it to where now people are able to put out their own levels and stuff. And Portal 2 I felt was overpriced for what it was. Really, really fun game. Really enjoyed it. I'm glad to have played it.
How much was it?
It was $60 when it came out.
Oh, that's
Or maybe it was $50. I don't know. It was a full price game when it came out.
Yeah.
And it was the sort of game that I was like especially considering that the original Portal was just like a thing that was bundled in with Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Like with the orange box, like buy the orange box for Half-Life 2 and you get Team Fortress 2 and Portal along with it.
This little mod that we made.
Yeah. And nowadays when you think when you put those three titles next to each other, Half-Life 2 is the one that no one gives a shit about. But not that Half-Life 2 was a bad game at all, but like Team Fortress 2 and Portal just became such a big deal.
They definitely have longevity.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 will be relevant when Half-Life 3 comes out.
Yeah.
There you go.
All of a sudden people will be like, Half-Life, oh, what do you mean there was 2 episodes on that also? Yeah. Where was I going with that?
Oh, you're talking about just like the price of price versus like how much content you get out of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
You're right. Like that's $60 for Portal 2. So I actually haven't completed the single player campaign on it.
Oh, you should. It's really good.
I know. I got to the point where someone gets potatoed. That's all I'll say. And that's where I stopped. I need to pick it up. I got distracted.
Well, that's not even
I played
that's,
through
that's longer than the halfway point. Just so you know.
Oh, cool.
There's like maybe 2 hours of playtime left.
Oh, god damn it! Then I need to just do it. But I played the co-op, and I really loved the co-op. Co-op was a lot of fun. But yeah, you're right. It's funny. Like now I think about it, but I got Portal for so damn cheap or free. I can't remember that. It's hard to say that. Like if it cost me $60 to have both Portal 1 and Portal 2, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think my thing with Portal 2 was at the time that it came out, like I wanted that full rich Portal experience. Like I had, like obviously it was still longer than the first game, which was bundled in with the orange box. But like I wanted a full on Portal game. Like I wanted a game that was going to be hours, like at least like 15 hours of gameplay was what I was hoping for, and I didn't get that, and I was disappointed, and I felt like, well, this game doesn't seem like it was complete. It seems like there should have been more in this. This was also coming off of, like, for me at least, in my tumultuous history with Valve.
Yeah.
They're a company. Everybody loves Valve. I like Valve, but I'm not like
in love with
Valve.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I do not praise Gabe Ed. I'm sorry.
Dang.
Well, and it's just it's for two reasons. Literally exactly two reasons. One of them is Portal 2. I felt a little bit disappointed with that, but the bigger reason, not that I was disappointed with the game, I was just disappointed with the amount of money that I paid for what I got.
Yeah.
I felt
it's fine. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, I felt personally, to me, I felt like the price point was too high for what it was. And the bigger one was Left 4 Dead 2, which came out a year after Left 4 Dead and felt like something that should have been just kind of an update to Left 4 Dead. Like,
but modding and everything.
But the modding, like, that's what I mean, is it felt like a Left 4 Dead mod.
Oh yeah, you're right. Like Left 4 Dead 1, what is like four episodes or something?
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 1 was a really, really, really good game. Left 4 Dead 2 did not add enough to the Left 4 Dead formula that I felt like it should have been. Like, it felt like an expansion to Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree.
Not a complete standalone game. And in fact, I would have much preferred, like, even if it was the same price, I would have much preferred it to be an expansion to Left 4 Dead, because I liked a lot of the original maps more. So, yeah. But yeah, so getting back into the order with all of this, like,
oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, like I think it's alarming when companies start putting out, like, because a big part of what happened when Portal 2 came out and I was saying much the same thing, and when Left 4 Dead 2 came out and I was saying much the same thing, was I got a whole lot of, but it's about the experience, right? Like, it's about the experience that you had. And yeah, my experience in both of those games was really good. I just did not feel that the experience matched the price. Like, I can have an amazing cheeseburger, but if it costs me $80, I'm not going to be happy about that.
I don't know, man. I've had some really good cheeseburgers.
I've had some really good cheeseburgers too. They're from a place called In-N-Out. They cost $3.
Dang. That's a good point.
Yeah.
they do make good burgers.
Yeah, it's just the sort of thing that when I have a good experience with a game, I don't want to then be thinking, well, could I have had a better experience if I'd spent this money on something else?
So let's try to quantify experience somehow. Like, think about the game that the game you paid the least for, like, let's say sub $30, not on sale.
Right.
Let's say sub $25. Actually, let's say $25. That you had the best experience with, and then the game that you paid, above $25, that you had the best experience with. I'm kind of curious what your, like, where your allegiances lie in that front.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Probably. You want me to go first? Yeah, go for it. I gotta think for a minute.
So I would say the best experience that I had, like, this is like full, all-encompassing experience, whatever. For the cheap end, was Don't Starve. I felt like there was a lot of content there, and there was the type of content they gave you could repeat over and over again without actually repeating it. You're just kind of going through the days, and you're kind of going through the same motions every day, but it's just progressively getting harder, and much in the same way that a dungeon crawler would progressively get harder as you get deeper into the dungeon. And then you always had the option of flipping over into adventure mode, which is insanely hard. And then there was a neat little twist at the end that I really actually enjoyed. It was a simple twist. You know what? I mean, fuck it. If you haven't played Don't Starve at this point, you're going to get spoiled. Mute it for the next 30 seconds, okay? If you don't want to get spoiled. But at the end, when you get to the end, the guy who's been taunting you this whole time is basically strapped to this machine. He's an old man. And you notice this as you start going through adventure mode, every new world you get to, there's like 5 worlds. Every new adventure land or whatever you want to call it, he's getting older and older. And then when you finally get to him, he's like this old guy. And what ends up happening is he gets out of this like weird throne type chair thing, like machine, and you basically replace him. So Wilson is now the person in the seat, and that unlocks Maxwell. Maxwell's like the bad guy, you know. I thought it was a neat little twist. It was, I mean, for a game that I put a lot of time in, I got to the end. I didn't expect anything huge, but when you start to notice that this guy is getting older as you progress, it's like oh, you get little hints, you know. And then you get to the end, it's like, oh, that's why he's part of this system that's basically making me go through all these crazy things. Like I thought that was kind of neat. So in terms of experience, like all around experience, like that's a game that I will never forget for the price that I paid, $15 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, if we're talking games under $25 that I've gotten the most out of, I don't remember how much I paid for Arma 2, but Daisy, the mod, I played the living shit out of. I don't remember how much I paid for Arma 2 though. And if I paid for under $25, it was probably on sale, so that probably doesn't count. Even then I didn't buy it for Arma 2 either. I bought it for Daisy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that price point was $29. But you know what? Like that, it's kind of a middle ground game. You're right. Like that's $29 is a price point I would like to see more often. And Daisy is a really great example of an awesome experience for that price point. Yeah. And I'm certain it was like $29 back in, like not because you could buy Daisy by itself back in the day. Right. It was just Arma and then the mod. But yeah, I'm pretty certain it was like $29 because it was technically a AAA game.
Yeah. If we're talking like the cheaper titles all the time, Rogue Legacy would be up there just because I've played a lot of that. Ooh. I've never been amazing at it. I've never gotten super far in it, but I've played it a bunch. And just generally enjoyed the experience that I had with that. Yesterday is a game that I paid like $3 for it on my phone.
Oh, phone game. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I believe it is also on PC. But it's a point and click adventure game, and it's one of the best that I've ever played. And it's relatively recent too. It's not like we went back to the LucasArts days and remade like Monkey Island. Like, no, it's a modern point and click adventure, and it's really good. I don't know if it's on PC or not. I kind of want to find out now. I'm gonna search Steam real quick. But that one was really good. Oh yeah, it is. It's $10 on Steam. You can play it on Android at least. You can play it for free if you don't mind seeing ads. And I paid like $3 to get rid of the ads.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's really good.
You have, I mean, so I'm snooping here a little bit.
Oh, Jesse Cox actually rated yesterday as he's got it on his curators on his curator list. Says, I don't even know where to begin with this game. It is without a doubt the most bonkers story you will ever experience. A must, and it's really good. So
yesterday,
definitely.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I'm going through your list here because I wasn't sure if you could come up with one that was the low end. But I'm going through your list here, and I see a couple small games that you put a decent amount of time in. Like I see Bastion at 6.7 hours. I'm going to assume you finished that game.
Yeah, Bastion was really good.
Yeah. I see. Where is it at? I see Mad Balls at 10 hours. Did you leave it open?
No.
Did you actually finish Mad Balls? Because I played it and it's a fun game, but it's like Marble Madness kind of.
Oh, I never did the single player. That's all multiplayer.
What the hell? What?
Yeah. There was a point where my guild, a couple of guys in my guild were like, "Oh my god, I got this Mad Balls game," because it was like free for a weekend once. They were like, "I got this Mad Balls game, and the multiplayer is amazing." And really, the multiplayer is kind of amazing. It's really fun.
Like, what? Can you define it for me? Because like I played the single player and it was just okay.
So it puts you in like an arena, and you roll around and you get weapons. It's like a top-down deathmatch sort of thing, and that's all it is really. But it's a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Interesting. You have 4.6 hours on record for Papers, Please, which I think is just about what I have.
Yeah, Papers, Please was good, and I got 2 different endings out of it. And then I was like, okay, I enjoyed this experience, but I'm going to stop here because it's starting to feel like I have a second job now.
I didn't get to the end, actually. For me, it was just like, and maybe I didn't play it as long as I thought I had, because it felt like a long time because of, like you're just saying, like it feels like a job, you know?
Yeah.
But I played it enough to get the gist where I was like, wow, this is very, very depressing.
Yeah.
And very stressful. Really stressful.
Yep.
Kind of cool, like going through, let's see what you're playing.
Yeah,
let's see.
Creeping on me right now.
Yeah.
You're going to find one at some point. You're going to be like, it says here that you only have like 30 minutes in World of Warcraft or something like that.
Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
It's okay. I own one of those. Oh man, I wish I could think of the name, but it's like one of those stupid, like dating games, like anime style. It was a recent one that came out that everyone was like talking about.
Oh, the Hatoful Boyfriend or whatever.
Not that one. It's another one. It may not even be what I think it is, but it damn sure looks like one. I can't find it on my list here. Fucking 200, 300 games. But anyways, yeah. So I have, that was gifted to me, by the way. But
sure.
Yeah. But I have no time in it yet. But I have some weird shit in mind because of if that I'll just buy something. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just buy that. Oh, everyone's talking about the game. I'll just buy it. I'll play it when I'm retired. That's my whole thing. My retirement list. Is there anything, just out of curiosity, is there anything that's currently on, that's actually on Steam, like, you know, or early access or whatever, that you've been playing? I know you've been playing H1Z1.
Yeah, H1Z1 is really the only one that I've been playing a bunch of recently outside of WoW. I did pick up Crypt of the Necrodancer recently.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
It's really fun. It's an interesting take on the roguelike. It's a game that I could easily see myself spending a ton of time. Like I streamed a little bit of it the other day, and the creator actually popped into my chat and was talking with me a little bit about it, which was pretty cool. But I could see myself playing it a ton if I didn't have like 4 other games that I was also playing.
Right? Yeah, that's
like, it's one of those games that's really good. It's really good. It's absolutely worth the price. If you are bored and want something new to do that you know you can sink a bunch of time in, totally go after Crypt of the Necrodancer. If you need to be convinced to pick up a new game, then maybe not. Like, maybe hold off. Because like, if you have a bunch of other stuff that you're doing, it's not something that I would say is so amazing and oh my god, it's such a ridiculous experience that everybody has to experience Crypt of the Necrodancer. Like, it's definitely a game for people that like roguelikes.
Yeah, it's a rhythm.
It's a rhythm roguelike, yeah.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Which is cool because it kind of taps into 2 of my like, I like rhythm sort of games. Like I actually have
a Rock Band guitar laying around somewhere.
Yeah, in my closet actually I have 2 of them. But no, like Audio Surf is a game that I managed to lose my played time on Steam somehow at some point, but I had at one point like 30 hours in Audio Surf for some reason.
Well, Audio Surf was not. I don't know what we did before Steam, to be honest, but I had a lot of Audio Surf time logged. And you're right, like it's not on Steam because I owned it separate from Steam somewhere, like independently. I guess you just used to download games or something.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's funny. Like Team Fortress 2. Like, I can't even find it in my list now. Where'd it go? There it is. Like, it says I've only played 29 hours of it in Steam, but if I go in game, it'll be like 300 hours on the engineer. So I'm like, okay, Steam, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's another rhythm game that I played the crap out of. I can't remember the name, but it always pops up whenever I actually, let me go look at icons. I can find it better. And let's see, games. I can sort by. No. Oh, I can't do that because I'm on big picture mode. Yeah, it's basically like Maelstrom or Asteroids actually. But it's all music based and it gets pretty fucking intense. I can't think of the name right now, and I put so much time to it. I feel super bad.
Beat Hazard?
Thank you. Yeah. That's a game I put a ton of time in. I don't know, what is my, let's see, what does it say here? There it is. Yeah, my playtime on Steam is 2 hours, which is such bullshit.
Yeah.
I think because I own the game independently, and I also own it on Xbox. And which is like dumb. It's the dumbest thing I could have done, because getting your own music on Xbox is like a pain in the ass. But yeah, if you like music, have you played Beat Hazard?
Yeah, I've played it for 3 hours apparently.
There you go. So you're totally good. You technically played it longer than me, I guess. I guess I own some DLC here. Beat Hazard iTunes Unlock. Oh, that was acquired fucking 5 years ago. Wow, June 2nd, 2010. Holy crap, this game's been out for a long time. I did a video on this. Damn. Getting old, Lore. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yep. Oh, Medieval Engineers. I figure I might as well go ahead and talk about that. I mean, it did come out technically today. I got in, I played around, it crashed like constantly. Which is, I was just kind of like, whatever, alpha. Plus I was working, I didn't have time to like fuck with it. But I did manage to finally get in there, and there's nothing to do right now. It's their physics is actually pretty cool. They have a lot of stress physics now. So you actually have to design and build something that can stand under its own weight, essentially. So I tried to make a tetherball court, which I don't know how the idea came, but it's impossible. Okay, so don't even try it. So what I did was, first thing I did was, okay, let me try it. Let me try it different ways. So I put a rotor on the ground, on the ground, because I wasn't sure about putting a giant rotor in the air. Like I figured it would probably fall over. So rotor on the ground. Okay, and I put like a bunch of 4x4s on top of each other, like 2 of them, to get it up high enough, and then. I put a spindle on top with rope, and I attached the rope to a ball I had on the ground with a little hook on it. Okay, boom, done. Yeah, tetherball cord. The ball's on the ground though, and then I tried to kick it around. I couldn't move it, so I tried to like fire like other balls at it, like using the ball firing thing. I don't know what it's called. And I just ended up shattering it every time. So I'm like, okay, so what I need to do is put the ball on top of something, and then remove that something so that it actually stays in the air, and so it moves, it gets momentum. And so I did that, and the first thing I did, fucking fell over. I was like, damn it! So I built like this like 8x8 grid of 4x4s to create like this super strong column. It was like too high, so it's like this monstrous like, grrr. And then I put the rotor on top. I'm like, okay, rotor's going on top. No, actually, no, I couldn't even put a rotor on top because it wouldn't mount for some reason. So I put just a spindle on top. I was like, I don't need a rotor, whatever. Spindle on top, and then I made a giant pile of like rocks or something, and then I put the ball on top, and I connected the ball to the spindle with a rope. I'm like, here we go, and I fucking knocked down the thing so the ball would fall, and it just took out the damn. The damn pillar I built. And I was like, I have to make it go sideways. So I did it again, but I put like a rounded brick thing on top of it, like in front of it, between the ball and the column. And I figured, okay, yeah, it's gonna hit that, and it's gonna roll off, and it's gonna give it more of that, more of the momentum to give it kind of an elliptical, path. And I was sort of right. It did have an elliptical path that immediately defeated itself. And just like after it went around, like it went about 180 degrees around, at a very tight radius. And then he immediately is like zoom plop. Just like, I was like, damn it. So the tetherball court was a complete failure. But people are building some really interesting things. But the game is in alpha, man. It's in super alpha right now.
Right.
I mean, you played a tiny little bit of Space Engineers, but
I remember some of it, even.
Some of it, yeah. You can almost say you haven't played any Space Engineers, honestly.
Yeah.
But they actually made a blog post because, like, you know, including myself, like I run a dedicated server and it's a pain in the ass because I have to take it down and clean it every day in order to keep it running smooth. And so a lot of people are complaining about the performance. I mean, the game, like the dedicated server, that basically processes shit for, like, you know, 2 to 64 people, only runs on one core. Like, it's single threaded. So, and on top of the fact that the netcode is just kind of like shit. So they made a big post, like a blog post. And they're like, yeah, we know it's shit. We're going to we have a new thing that we're working on right now that's going to fix it. And it's like, okay, cool. Oh, by the way, we're working on medieval engineers and all you guys hating because we're building another game. But Space Engineers is going to get planets with atmosphere and foliage and all that stuff. So Space Engineers is getting a lot of really, really cool shit because of medieval engineers, and I cannot wait for that stuff to come in.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to mute there. Planetary gravity, dude. That is cool. Somebody made a mod, and I tested it out, and just to kind of give myself like a preview of what planetary gravity would mean to my ship. And all my ships need to be fucking redesigned. I guess I didn't really take into account how much thrust would be required to resist the pull of a planet. But that's gonna make things super interesting, I think, in Space Engineers. You should come back.
I should. I should play some Space Engineers when I'm not completely hammered.
Yeah. No, just don't come back yet. Just wait until their feature completes. Especially now that they're talking about, multiplayer fixes and all that. Because I remember when you were playing, you had some issues with things like, hopping around and whatnot. But
did I? Guess I don't remember that.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't you too. I was like, well, Laura's drunk, but it's definitely not him. I know it's an ongoing issue. I can't blame him. Yeah, but if they get planets in and the planets are they're not like going to be realistically sized because that would be stupid. But still, like in the sizes they gave are like pretty huge. If they pull this off, like that's gonna make the game just like really, really fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check it out again. Sometime when I actually am able to comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, but stick with H1Z1 until they finish it. There you go.
Yeah.
How you liking H1Z1, by the way?
I'm still liking it quite a bit. I haven't been able to play as much of it over the last week or so. But my opinion of it hasn't changed. So
nice. That's a good sign.
Yeah, they had a little developer like live stream a few days ago where they just had like the entire dev team, or what's left of it, I should say, crammed into.
They only lost like a GUI designer, and that's pretty.
Yeah,
and art designers with it.
Yeah, like it seemed like most people were from PlanetSide 2. One interesting thing that came out of that. One interesting thing that came out of that was that they were saying that EverQuest Next is still the biggest team at Daybreak, which is, I don't know, that's probably good info to file away somewhere in the back of my head. But anyway, they had this developer stream, and it was kind of cool. Like, they were talking about the base building and how they're like, yeah, we're not really doing anything with the base building at the moment because we recognize that the base building sucks. So we're planning to scrap that system and do a whole new one. sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, which is good. Like I am happy that they're kind of taking early access to the point that I think early access really should be taken to, where it's not like we're going to sell this incomplete game because we can sell this incomplete game, and it's more along the lines of, well, you can buy your way into playing this game ahead of time, and in doing so also like give feedback that we'll then look into and be able to make serious changes on. So like I feel like when I am playing early access software, like I should see major changes to the way that the game, like it should be like playing an alpha or even a pre-alpha. Like there should be things that get scrapped, there should be things that get cut, there should be things that get completely rewritten in the early access game that I'm playing. And so that's kind of good to see, I think. But yeah, game is fun.
Yeah, I need to. I tried so hard to write a joy to key script for it because strapped to the couch, so I desperately wanted to play some H1Z1 because I could actually play DayZ, like it supports controllers like natively.
You need to get a wireless keyboard and mouse.
Oh, I know I have one. I have one, but
you need to use your wireless keyboard
and
mouse.
No. The problem is that the range on it wasn't that great, and it's like $120 mouse and like probably like an $80 wireless keyboard. But the problem is the little stupid dongle that they have is like it's just a tiny little dongle. It's not on a cable, and so it has to go through. I have a rack mount downstairs as my PC. So it has a door on it, like a metal door. So it has to go through the metal door and then go through the door for the entertainment center. Because if I leave both of them open, which I'm gonna have both of them open, it works totally fine.
Right.
But then my kid's all like, "Oh, what's that yellow button do?" Bloop, reset.
Yeah. I have I think it cost me $30 on Amazon. Combination, like it was a package thing that came with a wireless mouse and wireless keyboard that I bought just basically so that like when I was on my computer and wanted to watch YouTube videos or something on my TV instead of from my
Chromecast.
chair. Yeah, I actually just got a Chromecast today. I haven't really messed with it too much yet.
Wow, today.
Yeah.
That's great timing. You should totally use it, dude.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, the little bit of messing around that I've done with it so far has been really cool. They just recently added, at least for Android devices, they recently added like complete screen mirroring, which is nice.
Yeah, yep.
So, like it doesn't work. Like I was trying to play Trials Frontier with it, and it's not quite fast enough that you can really play Trials Frontier. At least not on any of the more difficult tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But it still looks really, really nice. And like if you're playing something that's a little bit less like twitchy and requiring of super fast reaction times, then it could actually probably be fine to like be able to play Android games on a big screen like that, which is cool. But the real reason I was looking into doing that was because I kind of want to use it to revive just the tip, because I have a like wire like HDMI cable set up for my LG G3, but it's super janky the way that it has to work. Like it took me forever to get it working properly because it used to be when I was using my S3 that I was just feeding my computer a 720p stream, like 720p footage, and it was able to handle that mostly okay through the AverMedia capture card. For whatever reason, so first off, the AverMedia capture card cannot at all handle a direct feed from my phone. Like it just gets all pixelated and gross and weird, and it can't deal with it because the G3 it's at like 1440 or something like that. Like higher resolution than 19. It's higher resolution than my computer is what I'm feeding into this thing. It's like 2560, 2650 by 1440, something like that. Super high resolution.
Yeah.
And so the computer can't handle it. So what I actually have to do is run it through an HDMI, like a powered HDMI splitter, which I can then run through, run into my PC. And I'm not splitting anything. It's just going into this powered splitter that can then go into my PC, because the splitter will force it to.
Oh, it'll scale it down.
Yeah, it'll clean it up. And then I have to change my capture settings to only capture at 24 frames per second instead of 30 frames per second, which is fine if all I'm doing is putting it on YouTube anyway. YouTube's going to put it at, like, I think YouTube puts it at 25 or something weird like that. But yeah.
Yeah, there's something I haven't actually played with yet, but and I never will, because I'm not going to cover mobile games. if I start making videos, I'm not going to cover mobile games. But iOS devices, when plugged into an OS X device, you can actually capture things natively.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like you can actually pop up with QuickTime and just record. And it'll record your screen and everything, which is kind of neat. And I've not tried it myself. I mean, it could be, the entire world could be lying right now. That actually is probably not a feature. But I'm fairly certain it is. And it's something that like they did so that devs could make like fun little videos demonstrating their product more easily. So it's that's a cool thing for people who are covering iOS products. I know you focus primarily on Android.
Well, I try to focus primarily on games that are on both. I just use my I use my phone to capture it, and I happen to use an Android phone.
Yeah.
There are actually a few that I did using I forget what it's called. There was an app that I was running on, or there was a program that I was running on my computer that made it work like an Apple TV, so that I could I could sync my iPad to it. And there were a couple of games that I played that way, but it was kind of a hassle, and it had some weird audio issues. So yeah. I mostly stuck to my my phone.
Yeah, I've been like thinking about. I mean, I know we should wrap this up soon because it's like midnight and some change. But yeah, I've been like borderline thinking of coming back to Android again. I have almost equal amounts of Android devices as I have iOS devices now. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's like holding me back is the ease of cross-platform connectivity with my wife and like now with my laptop. Like when I get a text, it goes to my laptop. And so I can just sit there and just reply. Done. I know that it would be the same if I used like a Google number, which I have a Google number. But it's just like it's like a major convenience thing that I had to let go. But like I have a Note and I have my Shield, and I love the games that I get on this shit. Like I'm playing Dungeon Hunter right now. I don't know if you ever played it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's Diablo for Android.
Yeah, I think I did adjust the tip on that at one point.
Yeah, so they're up to Dungeon Hunter 4.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the one by Gameloft. Yeah, I've played a few of those.
Yeah, Dungeon Hunter 5 is coming out soon, so you got to get some catching up to do.
Yeah.
But it's an insanely fun game, especially for like a mobile phone, mobile device.
Yeah, Gameloft is like, they're one of those huge like conglomerate sort of companies that just shits games out, but they're pretty good at taking concepts from like PC gaming and applying them to mobile device. Like they have a MOBA that actually works.
Yep, Heroes of Order and Chaos.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of meetings with them, and one of the girls I talked to there, I told her, I was all like, this is a company that I did a BF report on one of their games, Modern Combat, and I told her, I was like, when I did the review of the game, I basically said something along the lines of how this is a company that does all the clones from all the popular games on PC, but actually does them right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's noteworthy in that respect, and like they're up to like Modern Combat 5 right now, and it's crazy good, man.
Yeah.
And like the online multiplayer that's actually good.
Yeah.
It's like, give me a break, dude. Yeah, they definitely, they've started off with like taking basically doing what the game company should have been doing at the beginning, and kind of taking over the mobile market on that front. And they've done it right, man. I'm like super impressed with all the games that I play from them.
Yeah, and like there are companies like Glue that will put out, they do a similar thing, but like they get so overboard with their like free to play. Well, they get very pay to win, basically. Glue tends to with their games, to the point that I stopped covering them on Just the Tip because I was just getting tired of like going and looking at the because like it was always a game where, or it was always a show where I play the game for like 30 minutes and then I'm like, okay, well that's it. And in the first 30 minutes, like they're almost designed to get around reviews like that, because in the first 30 minutes you don't get to the point where it matters.
Yeah.
And then if you keep playing the game for another hour afterwards, then eventually it's like, okay, now you can wait 5 hours to be able to play another mission. Or for only $5.99, you can get 10 tickets that will allow you to play, and stupid shit like that. But Gameloft has typically been pretty good with their free-to-play stuff. Like, I played a ton of Order and Chaos Duels. Like, way too much Order and Chaos Duels. Never spent a penny on it.
I haven't even played Order Chaos Duels. Is it like Arena?
No, it's a card game. It's
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yes.
It's a trading card game. It's kind of like Hearthstone, but kind of not. There's some very, very key differences between it and Hearthstone. But like I was playing a shit ton to the point that I've started abbreviating it OCD, because that's what it abbreviates to.
Yeah, it does.
But B, like that, I was just spending so much time playing OCD, and it was one of those, I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more sorts of games.
Yeah.
And I never spent a penny on it because like I didn't feel that the prices were particularly worth it. They seemed to go after the whales like pretty hard with their games. And yeah, it was really fun. Meanwhile, Trials Frontier, I've spent like $35 on at this point.
Dang!
They keep coming
Holy
up.
shit.
They added this like showdown mode where like you go against somebody else and it gives you like 3 tracks and it picks the bike on each of them. It says, okay, whoever does the best on 2 out of 3 of these tracks wins. And I've just been playing that a ridiculous amount. And the thing is, it means now that other people can see your outfits. So now I'm like, well, shit, I have to buy this outfit so that I can wear my little skull hat in my thing, and everyone can know that I'm really good at this game because
I'm a badass.
Because I bought a skull hat.
I'm a whale.
I am totally a whale.
Well, you have a job, so you ought to. Just the fact that you spent any money in the game puts you in like the top 2%.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. They've got another bundle out right now that's $10 that I'll probably end up buying.
I still play the shit out of Happy Wars for that same reason. Like I haven't spent any right? I'm pretty sure I haven't spent any money on it, at least not recently. But like I am about to drop like $50 fucking on this game because I can log in every day and get like happy stars, and happy stars are great. But I need fucking happy tickets, dude. That's what I need.
Yeah.
I can't fuck with happy stars or whatever they're called. But that's like that's another fun like kind of free to play ish game. I mean, it's on console and PC, but damn, wish it'd bring it to mobile. Well, yeah, I'm tired.
I'm very tired. I was tired
so
when we
tired.
started.
Yeah, we started late because we spent all that time
Scraping the bottom of the internet.
Oh, it's so good.
Like our list of topics literally went 1886, The App Store has a pay once category now. Geek's phone smartwatch judges you while you make sex. That was our thing. That was our list of topics. And we didn't even talk about half of that because we rambled about Mass Effect, and I have no recollection of the conversation we've just had.
It was good.
It was good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was, and I'm certain it was. We'll see what the comments say. How's that?
Yeah.
One note. I am going to. We're good next Thursday for sure.
Okay.
After that, though, I am gone. Oh, just 1 week, it looks like. So GDC is happening. I'm going to be gone from the 2nd through the 5th. And then the 5th, I go straight from GDC to a plane to Boston. And if I don't, crash because there's a fucking blizzard or something, I will be at PAX. So the following week after that, the 5th, that's going to be a huge GDC PAX show because I'll be gone for an entire week at conventions. 7 fucking days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But that's it. I'm tired.
not going to conventions. I am, however, going to bed.
Yeah. Me too.